right, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Y'all see a lot of things have changed. You got the little motion in the background, but welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Oh man, look, if you're in the Facebook neighborhood, I want y'all to go ahead and get in the war room. We have a lot going on up there. Any news as far as the podcast is concerned, we put it up there. And also follow us and all that stuff. You listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that good stuff.
Check us out.
Check us out. Leave us a rating, good rating, bad rating. It don't matter. Just leave us a rating. So let's go ahead and jump in. We have two topics.
Right.
That we're gonna try to, you know how they say we ain't gonna beat before you know. But let's talk a little bit about Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, is done. I believe as a quarterback, he is not necessarily talent wise, but he's done in Green Bay.
I can see your view there. With this situation, I kind of feel the same way. It would be best for him to retire. He's still on the contract, and the Packers is in control of Aaron Rodgers right now, and the only team that has showed any interest in him is the Jets. And I don't know about you, but if you can't beat Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers, they keep you up at night. I know Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, if you were to compete in the playoffs, it's going to keep you up at night. Not mentioning Lamar Jackson, which we'll get into him later, but Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow, who's been playing lights out as well. So I don't think it's no success. If anything, if you don't retire, stay with Green Bay, because if you go anywhere else, I don't see Aaron Rodgers competing. I mean, and to be honest with the Jets, I mean, Aaron Rodgers don't need to be playing with unexperienced receivers. The Jets had a good draft. Their defense is great. Yes, I believe Aaron Rodgers can win with a defense, but I don't know whether their offense is built for Aaron Rodgers, unless they plan on doing some trades and acquiring some players, throughout the draft and everything, which we haven't seen yet. But just looking at the Jets right now, I wouldn't want to pick number 12 with the Jets, with Josh Allen and Bill Belichick and the Miami Dolphins, who played a decent season until they had that stuff with Tua going on. But yeah, man, retire.
I feel like that, honestly, between the Jets and the Dolphins would be a good situation. Obviously, there's going to be an upgrade over wide receiver on either team. Also, if you look down to the nitty gritty, Aaron Rodgers was not Rodgers-like this year.
No, he was not
at all. He's had a lot of stinkers. I'm looking at his stats right here. He had a lot of stinkers, especially week 1 against Minnesota. He went 22 for 34, 195, no touchdowns, 1 pick. The most touchdowns he threw all season was 3 in 1 game, and that was against the Cowboys when they went to overtime. He won by a grand total of 3 points.
Right.
And obviously, the Detroit Lions has had his number. I think this year, if I'm looking correct, he got swept by the Lions. So, in my humble opinion, I'm not saying he's done as a talent. He is done in the NFC.
Yes, and but where else would you put Aaron Rodgers?
I would put Aaron Rodgers.
Well,
honestly, I would put him on the Jets. You got a nice defense. You got a stud wide receiver. You got another stud wide receiver that's hungry for a quarterback. They haven't had a good quarterback since 1969.
Right.
So I will put him on the Jets. But I do have only the Jets.
Something new for Aaron Rodgers is good, But I'm looking at the whole totality of his success as for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And
check this out. I'm glad you said that. The Jets have some skill position players that will blossom under Rodgers. Disgruntled receiver Elijah Moore would likely salivate seeing Rodgers in green and white. And the offensive rookie of the year candidate Garrett Wilson, who was nice this year, could hit a new gear with Aaron Rodgers.
The question is, though, because we pretty much seen that with Aaron Rodgers this year, with him struggling with younger receivers, them not running the correct route, them dropping footballs. So do you believe that the Jets skill players is better than the Packers skill players?
Yes.
I mean,
think about it.
He doesn't have much success without some type of veteran receiver.
That is true, but at the same time, if you have the Elijah Moores and the Garrett Wilson balled. I mean, he was a candidate for Offensive Rookie of the Year. I mean,
and don't get me wrong. I mean, those guys that you mentioned are good, but I feel like
who on the Packers is going to compare to that though?
Not many. Outside, I mean, I do like Watson, and that's about it, really. Yeah. But you know, like when I look at Aaron Rodgers, I see a quarterback that has wasted countless years in a franchise that did not build around him properly. Because if they would have did their appropriate good deeds to Aaron Rodgers, we wouldn't even be talking about this stuff. I mean, I don't understand why they never did that for Aaron Rodgers. I feel like even though he folds, even though somehow or another Aaron Rodgers folds, it's just, I don't know, man.
I don't know if y'all can see that. That is why Aaron Rodgers did not get the respect that he should have gotten in Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers is a diva. I say it again. Aaron Rodgers is a diva. Aaron Rodgers is doing the exact same thing that Brett Favre did about 15 years ago, and that's dangling the Packers on the string. And I feel like he's going to take that same route, because when Brett Favre left Green Bay, he went to the Jets.
Oh my God, you gotta be kidding. History repeats itself. And
this is the Jets that had an aging LaDainian Tomlinson on the team. These are the Jets that was a year removed for getting Mark Sanchez as the number 1 overall pick. Aaron Rodgers, the bad man that he is a diva.
Yeah, but what they got to do with them building around him, though? Because he's been there for a long time.
Here's the thing. A report came out that the Packers are tired of him.
Yeah, they tired of him.
They tired. It's a report that was done that came from Bob McGinn. He is a beat writer for the Packers. He said they're done with Rodgers. That's the way it is right now. He's not coming back. They're disgusted with him. Disgusted.
Wow.
And they're done with him, and they're moving on. So that means they're going to Jordan Love, if that's a viable upgrade. But I mean, that'll be the way to get him. But
might be better than that professor.
I tell you, that's all they're doing.
I went down another professor.
That's what I say. He's going to get a little. I'm telling you.
I don't know about that.
I don't
think he should either. If he does move on, which like I said before, I think something new for him would be good in a different conference, different divisions, rivals, and all that good stuff. Well, I mean, if you don't want to move on, just retire. But he's still under contract, though.
That doesn't matter. If your team was missing a quarterback and you have some of the tools in place, wouldn't you beat the drum to say, hey, go get him? I think it was you that was talking about Rodgers last offseason.
Yeah, that would have been nice for the old Steeler boy. But too bad, sad.
But I mean, it ain't like y'all ain't used to having the diva on the team. I'm just saying.
I mean, but he was a successful diva.
Come now.
Don't
He won MVP.
How many Aaron Rodgers win?
How many Super Bowls has he been to since?
Who's that?
Rodgers.
None.
Exactly.
And I'm just being Ben Roethlisberger was a successful diva.
Yeah,
there's a difference. There's levels to this.
It was successful. I mean, but see, the difference between Ben and that guy.
See, he can't let it go.
The difference between Roethlisberger and Rodgers is that, granted, Roethlisberger had it.
He had the boom.
He had weapons. He had weapons galore. The problem.
In heaven.
we used to blame the Packers not being successful on Mike McCarthy.
That's
used to
part
do
of
it. I can't even say it's a complete part, because McCarthy honestly has taken a lesser quarterback and had mild success. Of course, it's Dak Prescott. Yes, we don't care about Prescott, but think about it. Mike, how many times McCarthy been to the playoffs since he's been with the Cowboys?
What? Twice?
How many games has he won since he's been the head coach of those Dallas Cowboys?
Wait a minute, but they won one this year.
I mean, I think I could have sworn it. They went to playoffs back to back.
Yeah. But you was just talking about weapons. Dallas got weapons compared to what Aaron Rodgers got.
That is true. Dallas had weapons, because I honestly, and I was staying on that hill, I don't see CeeDee Lamb as being the number one. He was a number one by default.
I mean, I kind of see why you say that, but then it's like, CeeDee Lamb is...
He's routinely still getting the second and third corner.
He still got Zeke back there.
I'll take the other running back over Zeke at this point.
Aaron Jones?
Not Aaron Jones. I'm about the Cowboy running back.
Oh, Tony Pollard. Okay.
I would take Tony Pollard over Zeke right now, because Zeke is basically a one-trick pony right now.
You talking about Aaron Jones?
Oh, no. You can keep that. You can keep that right there.
But yeah, with that whole situation though, Aaron Rodgers just need to move on or retire. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, that's where it kind of stands at right now. Rodgers either moves on, pull a Brett Favre, play for the Jets for a year, retire again, and then come back and play for the Vikings.
He's not going to be successful with the Jets. I don't be successful. I
think he'll be more successful, with the Jets now, as opposed to what Brett Favre was back in the day.
Oh, well, yeah, most definitely that. But I'm just saying, as of right now, if Aaron Rodgers go over there to the Jets, do you see them making the playoffs? The very first year Aaron Rodgers goes over there.
Well, judging by that defense and the pieces they do have on offense, I can see them they was in playoff contention without an Aaron Rodgers.
That is true, but they fell off the cliff.
Why? Because of what?
But let's not sit here and act like Aaron Rodgers is on his game every time now.
No.
He folds too.
See, you're dancing. You're dancing now. You're dancing. You tango in the stuff now. Why did the Jets fall off the cliff? Bad quarterback play.
Yeah.
You put Aaron Rodgers in a system, and to me, he's like a Tom Brady that can take the system that he has and bring it wherever he goes.
Right.
You put him with the weapons the Jets do have.
With the Bills and the Patriots and Dolphins in that same division.
The Patriots, we're not even,
we're not really talking about the Patriots.
We're not really talking about
the Patriots because of Belichick.
The Dolphins, they are the classic overachievers. They're going to win a handful of games the first 10
But those handful of games is going to be, as you can see, those handful of games, I feel like it started with Tua, man. Once those injuries started and he started playing all out of whack and everything, that really set him back, because the Dolphins was looking scary at the first 6-7 weeks of the season.
Yeah. Until Tua got that concussion. Again, quarterback play. Granted, that quarterback was injured.
You got the Bills Mafia over there.
And what did they do?
The Bill Mafia.
What did they do?
They didn't do anything.
What do they do every year?
They go to the playoffs and choke. And the same thing with Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay been doing the same. So I'm just saying, I would rather. I mean, if he does move on, they just gonna have to figure it out.
They gonna have to figure it out.
That conference right there, man. When every team on the conference is healthy, playing at their best, that's really becoming a tough conference. As long as Patrick Mahomes, I don't care now. Josh Allen, he's just a disappointment right now. But his talent is still like top 4 in the league right now, at least. I can name 3 other quarterbacks that's better than him right now, that has been playing at a high level for the last 3 years.
This same Josh Allen, and we ain't talking about this dude, but this same Josh Allen annually chokes when it matters. He's becoming the new version of a young Peyton Manning. Get you there in the playoffs. Get you to the playoffs. Get a high seed too. Get a home playoff game, and what happens?
Yeah, he finds a way to let the teams that should be in the game linger in the game.
Exactly, by throwing red zone picks.
Right.
I'm in no way doodling on Josh Allen.
I'm just saying, as far as his talent,
I think he's a great quarterback.
Yeah.
The problem is he can't finish.
He can't finish it.
He cannot finish.
I don't know whether is it solely on Josh Allen.
Okay.
That's something to look into.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Before Stephon Diggs, they was calling Josh Allen a bust.
They were.
After Stephon Diggs, MVP candidate.
Yeah. But see, they needed a receiver, whether it was Stephon Diggs or anybody that had the ability to take the top off the defense, because the receivers that they had couldn't do that.
And I want you to hold on to what you just said for our next topic. So, everybody, this brother, they're beating this in the ground now. Mm-hmm. I'm over it. This whole situation, and fortunately, we can talk about it here. What was it, back in 2021? We did a Lamar Jackson episode. A couple of years later, now he's up for a contract. And the Ravens, as good of an organ, and I'm not saying it because I'm a fan, I'm just talking about organizational wise, as great as an organization that Baltimore is, they're not budging on giving him
his money.
That money.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that money. It came out today, a few hours ago, that he's looking for a contract bigger than Deshaun Watson. He's looking for a fully guaranteed contract. Mm-hmm. Because
he's better than Deshaun Watson.
College-wise, Deshaun Watson had his number.
Oh, we ain't talking about that.
NFL-wise, he has not beat Lamar Jackson yet.
No.
Here's the thing. I am on the fence about the whole matter. On one side, I want the brother to get his money.
Of course.
I want him to stay in purple.
Of course.
On the other side, I look at how Baltimore has done Lamar Jackson.
Right.
I looked at how they done one Lamar Jackson. They didn't build around him properly. Go back to what we just said about Josh Allen. It took a receiver to take the what?
Top off.
The top off that defense. You give Lamar Jackson receivers like Seth Roberts, Willie Snead, Deshaun Jackson. Mm-hmm. You traded away Hollywood Brown. Let me talk about Hollywood for a minute. I was not a Hollywood Brown fan.
A.B. Cousin.
I was nowhere near a Hollywood Brown fan for the simple fact that his hands were occasional.
Mm-hmm.
I know it was one game we was in. I think it was a Detroit game. the year before last now, he dropped at least 3 touchdowns. There have been times where he didn't show up at all.
But he was still role, in my opinion.
But he was still a 1,000-yard receiver in that system.
Right.
That does not favor wide receivers. Quick history lesson: Baltimore has never, ever, since I've been a fan, prioritized the wide receiver position. Never. The best receiver that we've ever drafted was Torrey Smith, and that's not saying much. Don't get me wrong. I was a fan.
Right.
But that's not saying much. Now, if you look at our yellow and black counterparts, they get receivers from Kalamazoo to Timbuktu. And I'm looking at our former GM, Ozzie Newsome, Hall of Fame tight end. I always noticed something. We always had great tight ends.
Oh, yeah.
Todd Heap. Dennis Pitta. Now Mark Andrews.
Yes. Woo.
And they'll get not just one tight end, they'll get more than one.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen the tight end that was drafted, maybe one, that failed in Baltimore.
Oh, no. You can't fail in Baltimore. You're a tight end.
But that receiver position.
The receiver position has been a struggle for you guys.
Although I was not a fan of Hollywood, that was the best receiver that we've drafted.
Yeah.
The second, I'm gonna say the second best because Torrey, he got a ring.
Right. Respectfully. Better die.
But getting back to Lamar though, like you trade away his second best weapon. Okay. In return, you get Rashad Bateman. He came into the league hurt. You got Rashad Bateman, then you trade away Hollywood Brown last draft. You get a center, arguably the best center in the draft at that time. So I have mixed emotions about it. Okay. You get to the second day of the draft. You have arguably probably the best receiver to come out that last year draft, your guy, George Pickens. Yes. You had an opportunity to draft George Pickens, and you did not. Instead, you picked up David Ajabo, who had a torn, I think it was an Achilles torn heel thing when he was drafted. I get the logic, but I'm like, dog, you had all of those picks and not near one of them.
You ain't tried no receiver.
Not near one of them. So it brings me back to Lamar. Yes, go get your money. If you got to go get it somewhere else, hey, appreciate everything you done. I want you to stay. It's like a woman. You know, she's saying, I'm tired of you. I'm ready to go. You say, all right. I mean, if you're going to find out that the grass is green on the other side, by all means, go do your thing. I don't want you to go. Matter of fact, I ain't going to tell you to go. I'm going to leave it up to you.
Right.
But he's looking for a deal that's more than Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, remember back last March, signed a 5-year, $230 million fully guaranteed. Just get a man $231 million guaranteed. Let's go on about the business.
And be good.
231, 235, 237. I don't care. Just give it to him.
I think 250 even good.
I mean, 250.
I mean, you look at it. I mean, I'll let you finish.
I see both sides, and I look at, okay, he's missed a lot of time. Here's the kicker. Everybody says, well, his style of play.
That's out the window now.
Both times he got hurt, he was where? In the pocket. Both times he got hurt against Cleveland, he was in the pocket. He was against Denver, he was in the pocket. So why does this man keep getting hurt? Oh gosh, I'm going to tell you why. Go back to the scheme. Go back to the lack of receiving talent. Go back to the receivers that cannot get separation. So if you can't get separation, you're gonna do one or two things. You're gonna stay in there and hold the ball, or you're gonna take off running. Or if the run, even still and shout out to all the defenses that played Lamar Jackson these past couple of years. The defense take the running lanes away. Your receivers are not getting separation. Next thing you know, what is he doing? He eating the sack. He's running for his life. I've seen games where the dude literally ran for his life the entire game. So, if I'm on Lamar Jackson and I'm saying, okay, I need that guap. I need you to give me my money.
Right.
Because I did more for you than what you did for me. Then I seen a story yesterday. As much as I talk about this dude, the Ravens could possibly pick this dude up in the offseason. And that's one Baker Mayfield.
Oh my God. No. No. No.
Because we hired his former offensive coordinator from Cleveland, Todd Monken. And Monken got accolades. You know, he was the architect of that Tampa Bay offense that went 30 for 30. Baker Mayfield had his best year. He threw for almost 3,900 yards with one season with Monken. Jameis Winston threw for 5,000 yards. Went 31 for 30. Touchdown to interception ratio. But I feel like, honestly, this is going to end horribly for Baltimore. And I ain't mad.
Yeah, I concur. I don't think the deal will get done. Here's my first problem with Baltimore. I don't think I will have to go over any of the accolades and accomplishments that Lamar Jackson has brought.
It's well documented
to the Ravens. Baltimore is something special when Lamar Jackson is on the field. Y'all need Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. That's the only way the Baltimore Ravens will compete. If they don't, I mean, not saying that the draft or whatever, but we don't want to go through that because football is about building what you have and knowing when you see talent, you pay talent. And my problem with Baltimore is that you sat here and you signed Roquan Smith, made him the highest paid middle linebacker in the NFL. Did it within days without him having an agent. But yet you're dragging your feet on Lamar Jackson?
That's because Lamar wants a fully guaranteed deal.
But here's the thing. You got quarterbacks like Kyler Murray, who has $142 million guaranteed.
Ain't did nothing.
Okay. I feel the Ravens franchise is the problem here. Now, it's going to be tough for you guys to get this deal done because I feel like y'all done burnt bridges that y'all cannot build anymore. And it's worse because now, and then you're dealing with a player that represents himself. Lamar Jackson doesn't have an agent. So then it's like, with an agent will say, well, okay, to an agent, owner or whoever's in charge of that can say, well, I'm going to give your player this amount of money because he's not good in these areas. But you're not going to say that to Lamar Jackson, like, oh, here's why we're not going to pay you. So you run into a conflict there because you got to confront Lamar about why you're not going to pay him. In every aspect, Lamar feels like he deserves at least 200, at least 250, man. 250 million, man. That's nothing. But what y'all hoping for is for Joe Burrow and got the other
Joe Burrow. They looking for Joe Burrow. And Justin Herbert.
And there you go.
They trying to wait around for that.
Exactly.
And the problem is the Ravens are so stupid they can't get out their own way.
But see, y'all got less than 12 days to come up with a deal before y'all gonna have to franchise tag them, and a franchise tag can be denied. And then if
he
you
can
think
say,
about,
"I don't want to. I want to test free agency."
even if you do franchise tag him, he can sit out to 2 days before training camp because that's his right. So the season is already done before it started.
Yeah.
So I mean, y'all have to sign. If y'all let Lamar Jackson walk out of Baltimore, y'all deserve everything that come to y'all, and I mean that from a competitor. I'm a diehard Steelers fan. And trust me, Lamar Jackson makes it hard. It makes it competitive. And this is what this game is about, being competitive. And y'all gonna sit here and tell me, as a successful franchise, the Hall of Famers that has played in Baltimore, the success y'all have had as a franchise, y'all gonna let a talent like Lamar Jackson walk? No way. This gotta be it's a nightmare.
This gotta be a weird dream.
It's a nightmare.
See, this is the problem. This is why I feel like where this is going. On one hand, Steve Bisciotti is like, no, I'm not giving you a guaranteed deal.
Right.
A billionaire who's billionaires are smart.
Yeah.
You gotta have some sort of intelligence to make that type of money, right? Here is my thing. For like a couple of years, Baltimore wasn't even relevant. And I'm saying this as a fan. We weren't relevant. We were competitive, but we wasn't relevant. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, honestly, after that Super Bowl, we went through that little phase and stuff.
Yeah, signed Lamar Jackson.
Did we go get Lamar, and then
everything went up.
When I went to that doggone football game
since 2017, 2018, if the rate and it's crazy because if the Ravens go ahead and sign Lamar with the defense y'all have, it's so simple. It's so simple. We know y'all can beat Kansas.
It's right here.
It's right at the palm of y'all hand. Only thing it's gonna take is a lock Lamar Jackson up, get you a receiver. The defense is already there when healthy. That's another thing that's been killing y'all is the injuries. But how can you be mad? You're not willing to pay the man his worth. You see people like Deshaun Watson getting money in deals. Lamar Jackson, no, he's way better than Deshaun Jackson. Not Watson. I said Deshaun Jackson. But Deshaun Watson, he's way better than Deshaun Watson.
That too.
Jackson, Watson, all of them. He better than them, man. I mean, why wouldn't y'all sign him? His deal should have been done when Patrick Mahomes' deal got done.
Actually, the deal should have been done after his MVP season.
After that MVP season, he had, that was 2018? 2019.
Second year, first year being a full-time starter.
Right.
He goes and win the league MVP. Unanimous.
Man, he did it effortless, too.
I mean, it don't make no sense, man.
Yeah.
And now you're sitting at a crossroads. You're leaking out information. First of all,
what do you think all these other quarterbacks want to run? Who they want to run like?
Let me tell you something.
They want to run like Lamar.
There's a few teams now that will give their left nut to have a Lamar Jackson on their team.
I'm just saying.
I'm looking at it like this. If Lamar leaves, and this is my bold prediction, if he leaves Baltimore, he's going to go 45 minutes south to a team, the other team in Maryland, and that is the Commanders.
Oh, God, no.
He's going to go to the Commanders because of Eric Bieniemy. That will be the truth. You're going to see all this stuff is going to be off the wall. No, it's not. I'm going to keep it up there, but I'm going to have a few Commanders items up there. I do like their black jersey.
That black jersey is nice.
That black jersey is kind of nice, though.
That'll be nice. That'll change the whole NFC East.
That'll flip it.
I mean, it's shameful, man. It's not even Lamar. I mean, and then I feel like they blowing up his what they call it, the point of view, how you look at a person.
Yeah. See, we both. It's Black History Month, so we know why.
Right.
We know why.
Right. I mean, let the man be great. Let the man be great.
consider the following: Michael Vick, right? Mm-hmm. Lamar. We all know Lamar broke just about all Vick records. Michael Vick was getting too big for his britches.
Right.
His downfall was not about dogfighting. They could not, and I repeat, could not see a Michael Vick winning the Super Bowl the way he played.
Right.
So because of the whole dogfighting thing where, it happened on his property, he knew about it, but his brother was the one that was running the operation. But Mike Vick took that time. Came back, he wasn't the same. Yes, he evolved into a primarily pocket passer, but at the same time, he wasn't the same.
I mean, but the identity of a quarterback in the NFL is changing.
It is.
As you can see, Tom Brady's is gone.
The Mannings are gone. The Marinos are gone. The Elways are gone.
All these guys are gone. It's about running this RPO right now.
It's about space.
And spacing. And with Lamar Jackson, you have spacing. Then the running backs accommodate him. It's only the receiver. Yeah, I like J.K. Dobbins
and Big Gus the Bus.
I like them. Hey, they get that speed. It's like speed. I mean, look at the Miami Dolphins. Team full of speed.
Let me tell you something about Baltimore. Baltimore is a number one, a proven receiver away for contending for a championship. Problem is, you ain't got your quarterback locked up.
And that's a problem.
That's your problem.
Y'all done waited this long.
Don't get me wrong. I was conflicted about the Roquan Smith acquisition. On one hand, I kind of figured it over that last summer. I'm like, okay, he coming to Baltimore. They said he went out of Chicago. He coming to Baltimore. I did not see them making him a $100 million linebacker.
I mean, y'all got that money back there like that and y'all ain't paid Lamar Jackson? I mean, how are you going to prioritize? Yes, defense is essential in Baltimore. Baltimore is known for their defense.
They're telling America we're going to run the ball and play defense.
Which is...
Them days is over with.
Old time
Don't get me wrong.
Madden football.
I'm a defensive guy. I really feel like at the end of the day...
You're always going to have defense.
At the end of the day, your defense got to stand up if you want to hoist that Lombardi. The defense got to make a key stop.
Some defenses is just generational. And I believe
you're never going to get the 2000 Ravens again.
You're not going to get them, but y'all defense, especially with the acquisition of Roquan Smith, who helped stop that run, because y'all was looking for that way back when what's my boy CJ Mosley was playing.
CJ couldn't do it. Patrick Queen couldn't do it.
So I went and signed a veteran guy in Roquan Smith. But now it's like, I can't even believe, now that I really think about it, that y'all waited to the point where it's either he going to free agency, if he doesn't accept the franchise tag, he going to free agency. Like, I never thought that would be the case for Baltimore.
It's two different tags they're going to have to offer if they don't get a deal done. I think it's exclusive or something else.
I don't think
it's not going to get done.
I don't think y'all is.
It's going to be a thing where if he signs a franchise tag, he's going to get traded. Yeah. Because that franchise... Now, here's the kicker. The franchise tag is almost $50 million. Lamar is asking for $50 million a year. Now, you tell me, if you're going to sign... And obviously, if you tag him again, it's going to go up $10 million. Right. So it's going to go from $50 million to like $66 million. Why not just get a deal done?
Go ahead and get a deal done. I don't understand.
I'm going to tell you why you're shell-shocked. That's one thing. You shell-shocked because of the whole Joe Flacco thing. Made him the highest. See, here's the difference, though. Joe bet on himself and won big.
Right.
Lamar bet on himself. Didn't win that much because he got hurt. So now him acting as his own agent, which I really feel like the whole agent narrative is overrated because there's a lot of players that's under the radar that work as their own agent.
You're right.
Bobby Wagner, Roquan Smith, and one Lamar Jackson. I know it's plenty more, but I ain't even take time to research that.
Go with what you know.
I'm just going with what I know. I'm taking my time. So you Pete, and the agent, yes, he's gonna be that buffer, but also the agent leaks out information.
Right.
So that's why your ESPNs, your FS1s, and all that stuff. That's why they kind of grasping at straws. So I'm looking at it from that aspect as well. Maybe the media is making up a story.
Maybe they are. You never trust them either.
Because Lamar's not saying nothing, and obviously Baltimore is not saying nothing. Because if you take the time and look at the pressers, I try to look at some of them because I'm not a hardball guy.
Right.
I kind of fast forward, but sometimes I miss key information. When talking about Lamar, they kind of push it off. They deflect it.
Yeah, that's what they do.
The last one. It's crazy. The new offensive coordinator was the main one holding up the banner for Lamar.
Right.
Said he was underrated as a passer. I said it took them 5 years to hear that and say that.
That's a shame, though. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves.
As a almost 30-year fan of this team, I've been a fan for almost 30 years, my brother.
Y'all not gonna pay Lamar Jackson.
I am ashamed.
So if
disgusted.
The only other quarterbacks out there on the market is Derek Carr and
Baker Mayfield.
And out of those three,
I would take Derek Carr over Baker Mayfield.
I would take Lamar Jackson and sign his money.
They're not gonna give him that money. I feel it.
Don't sign Lamar, man.
I feel it in my bosom. They're not gonna give that man. They're not gonna give that man that money.
I just can't wrap my hand around it.
But I'm just saying they ain't gonna give it to him for the simple fact they don't want to sign that doggone thing. But look, Baltimore, if you listening, just get that man
donation.
We'll take some donations. We will take some donations to keep this man in Maryland and not with DC. I'm talking about Baltimore. But it's funny to me. I mean, honestly, I'm a fan. Like I said, I've been a fan almost 30 years. It's laughable to me because do you not remember?
No.
Do you not remember the Elvis Gerbacks? The Tony Bankses, the Kyle Bowlers. Do you not remember where you came from?
Ravens got some memory loss.
You wasted, honestly, arguably the greatest linebacker to ever play the game. You wasted the greatest safety to ever play the game. You wasted Terrell Suggs. He's probably top 5 pass rusher that I've seen in my lifetime. You wasted him.
Yeah, I guess y'all just don't know how to appreciate.
They don't care. Like what I say in the chat, the Ravens don't like nice things.
Yeah, they don't like nice things.
They don't like nice things. So I honestly, and we can close after this. Like, I hope it does get resolved some way or another, so we can move on. Because I'm tired of hearing about it.
I think y'all didn't wait too late.
I honestly think the well has run dry. And Lamar's mom, I love her. I ain't never met her, but I love her to death because she raised an outstanding person.
Right.
Because Lamar, I mean, honestly, if you look at Lamar, people, clown him because he's South Florida boy. His dialect is not, of the proper NFL quarterback. He's just back straight, chest out type dude, but he's real. He's genuine. And he's a prideful man. He prides himself on being a good guy.
Yeah.
Never got in trouble off the field.
Well,
never been in no type of controversy. Deshaun Watson, we looking at you.
You're right. Well, he didn't pay all his.
But he paid, so he don't care. He said, I can touch it all the way I want to.
Paid.
The views and opinions expressed are not of the back porch.
Nah, forget it. I'm sorry, attorney.
And you mean tell me
you let
and they're in the same division at that.
You let See, he's not a pedophile because it ain't about little kids. You let a rapist. You let a rapist that paid his people off get that type of money, and you sitting back with with a Lamar Jackson that you took a chance on. We didn't ask y'all to go get Lamar Jackson.
No, y'all got him lose.
Y'all picked him because y'all wanted him.
I bet you did. He broke his college record and all different types of stuff.
Come on, man.
All that stuff.
But now you want to treat him like we can get another one. That's all. That's the way they looking at it. Don't let this year's quarterback class fool you. It's horrible.
It's hard to find good quarterbacks. I'm just saying.
Out of all them quarterbacks that came out in 2018, Lamar Jackson included. Think about it.
Lamar Jackson came out swinging.
He came out swinging and he hit something because he got that MVP. But as we say all the time,
it remains to be seen.
Every time it remains to be seen. I like the way that mic sound though. You gotta be, you know how you gotta work your face. It remains. Well, good show, man. Look, like I said at the top, if you're on Facebook, hit us up in the war room. We got a lot going on. I know this upcoming season we're gonna do the weekly pick'em again, because that was a big hit. So if you're not in the war room, go ahead and get in there now so we can know who's going to be where. That way we can set this thing up proper. And we'll have more information about that later on. Of course, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere that you get your podcast on, check us out and leave us a rating. Leave us a thumbs up if you just like it. If you don't like it,
yeah,
say something.
Help
us get these listens and these clicks and these views and these likes and all that stuff, because we trying to do it big, man. Yeah. All right, man. You got anything you want to add to it, bro?
Nothing at all.
Well, we're going to go ahead and sign off. This has been the Backport Sports Podcast with your man, Fonz. And we out.